All right, good morning, everyone. Uh, Hope everybody had a great weekend. I know I usually do this video on Mondays, and once again, if you're watching this in the group, thank you for thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. And if you are listening to the replay on our podcast, or if you are watching on our YouTube channel, please don't forget to leave a comment below and to give us a like, share whatever platform you're looking on, and subscribe so that we can help our platforms grow a little bit and provide more quality information to others. So today we are going to talk about business development and specifically networking. So let's take a look at this. So if you are at a networking event, which really anyone who's ever followed me or who's ever seen any video or put out any information I ever put out will understand that we have one basic philosophy, especially when it comes to building your business, and that is that business people build relationships, and those relationships are what's going to build your business. Digital marketing is great. I don't knock those guys. It definitely has a place in the world. And as time advances, we're going to see a bigger need for effective business development practices through marketing efforts. But those are one off clients. Those are fantastic if you're trying to sell a widget on Amazon, or if you're trying to just get brand awareness out, if you have some sort of a service based business. But if you want true and effective growth in your business long term, you need to understand how to build relationships. One of these methods, and whether you're going in person or you're doing it virtually, because at the time of this recording, we are in the middle of probably one of the worst pandemics in history, and then just devastating to the economy. But the if you're, in today's age, you may be doing this virtually, but it's still an effective tool, and that is networking, attending networking events. So let's look at the questions that I've posed here. So you're at a networking event and you and I meet. I think it's great. Um, I want you, I want to send you clients. I like your elevator pitch. We'll talk about that in another video, but I like your elevator pitch. I like what you have to say. And now I'm asking you, okay, well, I want to refer to you. I like you. I think you're awesome. I think it's a great service. Who's your client? So let's talk about that. Because if you don't know who your ideal client is, you're sunk. Look, I don't want to hear this that, oh, my client is anybody with money. It's not. If that is who you think your client is and your business is struggling, ding, 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 we just figured out why you're struggling. If we cannot identify who your client is, how do you expect to be able to communicate with them? How do I expect, as a business owner, for someone to tell me to send me the right type of client if I can't tell them who my client is? Like, for example, Briones Consulting Group, our client is very specific. We work with private duty home care agency owners who wish to improve their processes through training of their operational, client service, and marketing and business development staff. That's it. That's who our client is. If if you send me someone who specializes in Medicaid or Medicare services or a hospice agency, that's fine. I can work with their salespeople, but it's not my ideal client. And quite frankly, more often than not, I'll probably refer them off to someone else. Now, if they had one of those businesses, they wanted to start a private duty component to their business, now we can talk. So let me ask you, who is your ideal client? Are you, as a private duty home care own agency owner, are you going to tell me everyone is your ideal client? Anyone who needs services? That's too broad. Let's narrow this down a little bit. You're looking for the elderly as a primary client. Fantastic. What's the age? Are we looking for independent elderly people? Do you know your target client's age? Do you know what age generally people begin looking for assistance or needing assistance? Let's hear your thoughts. Comment down below. All right. Now, when it comes to identifying this client, so statistically, just to answer the question, it's about 72 years old. You are not looking for that 65-year-old. I love the statistic that's out there that 10,000 people per day with these baby boomers are turning 65. Fantastic. That is absolutely true, but that is not your ideal client. I know many 65-year-olds. Most of them are quite frankly very healthy and independent. Now, even the ones that have some issues, they're still generally independent at that age. 72 is the age on average where your client is looking for stuff. Now, what what is it? Every 72-year-old? No. You're going to be looking for people in a certain household, in a certain income range. Now, what does this mean? Well, quite frankly, it means I'm not going to go to the hood to find 72-year-olds, that are living on a fixed income as a private pay client. I'm not saying they don't exist. I am just saying that you have a lower likelihood of finding the right client there in certain neighborhoods. All right. Now, this is why it's important. Who is your ideal client? 72, what's the income range? Are we looking for someone who is more independent or more dependent or has certain medical conditions? So that's something to keep in mind when you are at the networking event or when you are visiting someone during your visits. You have to understand clearly and precisely who is your client. Okay. Who is your end user client? All right. Now, we're at the same networking event. I asked you about your client. You educate me. Okay. So now you've told me who your ideal client is, but now here's the thing. Are you going to make it easier or difficult to let me give you a referral? Do I have to go to a website? Can I just pick up the phone? Do I just give the client the information? How do we do this? And now, once my client that I'm sending to you has reached out, what's your process? How do you make the client's life easier? Why should I continue to refer to you once I have referred to you? So this is all about processes and systems, and you have to have all of this tightly put down in place. What's your intake process look like? Your conversion is not going to be good. And if I am referring to you and I get feedback from the client that I sent to you that you don't have an effective or efficient intake process and that it's just became too much of a hassle, I'm not going to refer to you anymore. So that's another piece when it comes to networking and business development. Number one, know who the client is and be able to identify who this client is and verbalize it. Number two, have a clear, easy, and precise, not just referral process, but intake process. Make it easy for your referral partners to send you the client and make it seamless for when that client contacts you to onboard. You want to make it as smooth and easy a transition as humanly possible. Because when you are dealing with this with your client, when you're walking this person through, you can lose them easily along the way. Remember, the goal of an intake is always to get the in-home assessment. Always. You want to walk them to that next step. And they need to know this. They need to be fully aware of this. And if you have a very complicated intake process where you're trying to close the sale on the phone, that's not going to work. People need that human contact because remember, you are building a long-term relationship, not a one-off. And that's really where your focus needs to be. So ask yourself, how complicated or simple is your intake process? How easy would it be for you to explain to your referral partner your client's experience as you walk them through? Once again, I'm going to ask you, go ahead and leave a comment. Let us know. Let's start a discussion. And now, finally, We're leaving the networking event. Everything is great. We had an amazing conversation. You feel confident that I feel comfortable potentially referring to you. So let me ask you, what's your follow-up process? Are you done? Are you just going to sit back, go to your office and say, wow, that was a great encounter at this networking event? I really do hope Julio sends me a client. Or do you have a clear follow-up process? Do you have systems in place? Again, if notice the recurring theme here, systems. Okay, you can't just wing it. Even when we're talking about networking, everything has to be in place. Have your system, understand who your ideal client is, have a plan of attack. Understand that once you've defined your ideal client, once people are interested and understand who to refer to you, now you need to have them understand how to refer to you, and you have to walk them through the process of sending clients to you. What is their journey that they're sending their client on? All right, it's got to move along smoothly. This is how you send me a client. This is your client's experience. Now that we've gone and covered all of this, and you feel comfortable that I'm going to send you a client, how are you going to follow up? The relationship just started. We just planted the seed. How do we nurture that seed and have it grow? How do we put ourselves in a favorable situation so that this person will continue to want to do business with us? Let us know, what's your best tip to follow up? Thanks for joining us. I hope this video provided some information for you and that you benefited. If you have, and you're watching this on some other platform other than our Facebook Live, just please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe, depending on where you're watching or listening. And there's information there that if you want to see these videos live on our Facebook group, so you can also get this information firsthand as we're putting it out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.